Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something absolutely critical if you're touching digital assets. How you actually secure your crypto.
Yeah, this isn't just some tech detail in the background. It's fundamental.
Right. It feels like a choice, almost.
Yeah.
Philosophical.
Huh?
Between trusting someone else and, well, being totally sovereign.
It really is. It's the core decision shaping your whole experience. And we know you want the strategic insight without getting bogged down.
Definitely.
So the strategy boils down to understanding two main types of crypto wallets: custodial and non-custodial.
And that's our mission today.
Yeah.
Clearly lay out the difference, because it all comes down to one massive question. Who holds the keys to your digital vault?
Exactly. And maybe before we even get into the types of wallets, we should nail down what a crypto wallet actually is.
Yeah.
Because it's not intuitive.
Good point. It's not like my leather wallet with cash in it.
Not at all. A crypto wallet doesn't store the crypto itself, technically. It manages your private keys.
Okay, the keys. These are the super important secret codes, right?
The most important. They're unique, complex codes that mathematically prove you own specific crypto assets on the blockchain.
And if you lose them, or someone else gets them.
Poof! That's
Yeah.
it. Your control over those assets just vanishes instantly. No recourse.
Wow. Okay, so comparing wallets is really about comparing how we manage those incredibly powerful keys, how we handle security and control.
Precisely. Two fundamentally different approaches.
All right, let's unpack the first one. This is the route most beginners probably take, maybe without even realizing the distinction, the custodial path.
Custodial just means you're trusting a guardian, basically. You sign up a third-party service. Think a big exchange like Binance, or maybe a more specialized one like Mabrook.
And they hold on to your private keys for you.
Exactly. They manage them, they secure them, they take on that technical burden.
So the analogy, it's kind of like using a SMIC deposit box at a bank, right? You don't have the keys to the main vault door.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The bank handles the big security, the guards, the cameras, the thick walls. You trust them to protect what's inside your specific box.
And the upside of that trust. Convenience seems like the big one.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're new to crypto, the barrier to entry is like almost zero.
No technical headaches setting things up.
None. And if you forget your password, there's usually a customer support team. They can help you reset access. You can't do that if you're managing your own keys.
And security, they invest heavily in that, presumably, more than an individual could.
For sure. These are often large institutions. They pour money into cybersecurity. Think multi-factor authentication, strong encryption.
Right.
And sometimes even insurance or things like Takaful. That's the Sharia-compliant coverage against big platform hacks or theft.
Plus, you get features like instant trading, mobile apps, maybe even ways to earn yield on your crypto directly on the platform.
Yeah, it's designed to be the easy on-ramp, smooth experience.
Okay, but convenience usually has a trade-off. If custodial is the safe bank, where does it get?
Yeah.
Well, risky. What's the catch?
The catch. It's the core risk. Total dependence on that third party. This is where you hear that phrase, not your keys, not your crypto. And it becomes very, very real here. Meaning you are completely reliant on that provider staying solvent, secure, and accessible. If they get hacked, or worse, if they go bankrupt, just think about the chaos when FTX collapsed.
Right, that was huge. People lost everything.
Because their access was gone. Or frozen. You effectively become an unsecured creditor in a bankruptcy, not the direct owner of the underlying assets. The platform held the keys.
So systemic failure of the provider is the nightmare scenario. What about other downsides? Privacy.
That's the other big trade-off. For them to operate legally, especially the regulated platforms, they have to comply with financial regulations.
Know your customer, KYC, anti-money laundering, AML.
Exactly. Which means your transactions, your holdings, they're often monitored. They might be reported to government agencies.
So you lose that privacy, that pseudo-anonymity that was part of crypto's original appeal for some.
Correct. You gain regulatory oversight, which can be a safety net, but you sacrifice privacy.
And practically speaking, day-to-day, you might face things like withdrawal limits, fees for moving your crypto off the platform.
Yeah, you're playing in their sandbox. By their rules, it's convenient, but it's a walled garden.
Okay, so that's the custodial world. Convenience, support, institutional security, but built on trust and accepting their control.
Precisely. which naturally leads us to the alternative.
The non-custodial approach, taking back control. How big a shift is this, really?
Oh, it's a complete 180. Philosophically, technically, everything. Non-custodial means zero middlemen. No bank, no exchange holding your keys.
Just you.
Just you. You and only you command your private keys.
So back to analogies. This isn't the bank vault anymore. This is like building your own Fort Knox at home.
Kind of. Or maybe simpler. It's like keeping the only set of keys to your house right there on your keychain.
Total freedom,
Uh-huh.
but total responsibility.
Exactly. Lose those keys, you're locked out forever. But the huge advantage, your assets are immune if some crypto company gets hacked or goes under.
Because the company never had the keys in the first place.
Never touch their servers. This is the embodiment of that crypto ethos. Be your own bank. True self-sovereignty.
Okay, but non-custodial isn't just one thing, is it? There are different types of these wallets, too.
Right. It's a spectrum, mainly based on how they balance security and connectivity.
So what are the main categories?
At the, let's say, most accessible end, you have software wallets. Think apps like MetaMask or Trust Wallet.
The ones you see people using for DeFi or NFTs often.
Yeah, exactly. They're usually free, they live on your computer or phone, they're hot wallets, meaning they're connected to the internet.
Which makes them convenient for regular use.
Very convenient for active trading, interacting with decentralized apps, but being online also makes them inherently a bit more vulnerable to online threats like malware or phishing.
Okay, so software is convenient but hot. What's the next step up in security?
That would be the hardware wallets. This is often considered the gold standard for self-custody security.
Devices like Ledger or Trezor, physical things you plug in.
Correct. These are small, specialized devices designed purely to store your private keys completely offline. That's why they're called cold storage.
Offline. So even if your computer gets riddled with viruses...
Doesn't matter. The private keys never leave the hardware device. They never touch the internet directly. Transactions are signed on the device itself. It offers really robust protection against online hacking attempts.
That sounds significantly safer for holding larger amounts or long-term investments.
Definitely. If you're serious about holding crypto securely yourself, a hardware wallet is generally the recommended route.
And you mentioned something even more advanced, aimed at solving maybe the single point of failure of having just one key, MPC wallets.
Ah, yes. MPC, multi-party computation. This is really interesting tech, moving from institutional use towards retail.
How's that work?
Instead of having one single private key that, if lost or stolen, is catastrophic, MPC uses some clever cryptography to split the key generation and signing process into multiple parts, or shares.
Okay, so like you need multiple pieces, maybe held in different places or by different systems, to come together to approve a transaction.
Exactly. Imagine needing, say, 2 out of 3 key shares to sign off. Even if one share gets compromised, the funds remain secure because the attacker doesn't have the complete picture.
That sounds incredibly resilient, almost like decentralizing the key itself.
It is. It removes that single point of failure. It's a way to get very high security without relying on one person perfectly protecting one secret phrase. Banks and institutions are exploring this heavily.
So the advantages of going non-custodial, whether software, hardware, or MPC, seem clear. Total ownership, potentially more privacy, true decentralization.
Powerful advantages. They align with the core promise of crypto.
However, this power comes with, let's be honest, a pretty steep learning curve and significant risks, doesn't it? This feels like the crucial warning label section.
Absolutely critical. The biggest danger isn't sophisticated hackers for most people using non-custodial wallets. It's human error.
Losing the keys.
Losing the keys. Or, more commonly, losing the recovery seed phrase. That list of 12 or 24 words you get when setting up the wallet.
That's the master backup, right?
It's the master key to regenerate all your private keys within that wallet. If you lose that phrase and your device fails or is lost, there is no one to call. There's no forgot password link.
The funds are just gone.
Yeah.
Irretrievably.
Mathematically inaccessible. Forever.
Yeah.
Locked away on the blockchain with no key.
That's sobering. And we're not talking small amounts. I've read estimates that maybe, 20% or more of all Bitcoin might be lost forever this way.
Those estimates are out there, yes. It highlights the sheer scale of the responsibility you take on. You're flying completely solo, no customer service for wallet issues.
And it demands more technical know-how, keeping things updated, understanding transaction signing.
Definitely. You need good backup habits. Serious backup habits. You need to be constantly vigilant against phishing scams, trying to trick you into revealing your seed phrase, or connecting your wallet to malicious sites.
So it's not just set it and forget it.
Not at all. It requires ongoing diligence.
Okay, so let's try to summarize the core difference simply. Custodial is like renting a bank vault. Convenient, relies on trusting the bank's security and rules.
And comes with support.
Non-custodial is like owning your own high-security home safe. Total control, empowering, but demands you be the expert security guard and remember the combination.
Perfect summary. Convenience versus control, trust versus responsibility.
And you mentioned the industry, especially banks and regulated players are looking at things like MPC, trying to find a middle ground.
Exactly. They see users want the feeling and reality of self-sovereignty, but maybe with more robust, institutional-grade security frameworks around it. Compliant self-custody, perhaps using MPC, seems to be a major trend, finding that sweet spot.
Which brings us nicely to the practical side for listeners. Okay, you understand the difference now. How do you actually apply this knowledge safely? What are the smart moves?
Right. Actionable advice. First off, if you do choose a custodial provider, especially for significant amounts, do your homework.
Don't just pick the biggest name.
No. Vet them. Check their regulatory status in your region. Look for independent security audits if they publish them. Understand their insurance or coverage policies. Confirm they meet local compliance. Due diligence is non-negotiable.
Okay. And for someone brand new, just starting out?
The standard advice is usually start custodial. It's like learning to drive in an automatic car first.
Get the feel for the market, the volatility, how trading works.
Exactly. Learn the ropes in a more forgiving environment. Then, as you get more comfortable, and especially if your crypto holdings start to become significant to you,
Then consider non-custodial.
then ease into non-custodial. Don't jump in headfirst with your life savings. Maybe start with a small test amount. Set up a reputable software wallet like MetaMask or Trust Wallet. Practice sending, receiving. Critically, practice the backup and recovery process.
Test recovering the wallet using just the seed phrase before you put real money in it.
Absolutely essential step. Verify you can recover access yourself.
And when you are ready for that non-custodial route, especially with a hardware wallet for long-term holds, that seed phrase backup strategy becomes everything. You said backup smarts. What does that actually mean?
Rule number 1, 2, and 3. Never, ever store your seed phrase digitally.
No screenshots, no saving it in your Notes app, no password manager?
Absolutely not. If it exists digitally anywhere, it's potentially vulnerable to hacking, malware, remote access. It fundamentally defeats the purpose of offline cold storage.
So physical copies only.
Physical only. Write it down clearly on good quality paper. Even better, consider etching it onto metal plates. Fireproof, waterproof.
Okay, got the physical backup. Then what? Just stick it in a drawer?
No. Secure storage. Think like it's bearer bonds or gold. Store it somewhere safe. Ideally, make maybe 2 or 3 physical copies.
And store them in different places.
Yes, different secure physical locations.
Right.
Maybe one in a fireproof safe at home, another perhaps in a bank deposit box, or another trusted secure location separate from the first.
Why multiple locations?
Redundancy against physical disaster. Fire, flood, theft at one location. You still have a backup elsewhere. Offline, physical, redundant. That's the mantra for seed phrase security.
Okay, that's thorough. So weighing all this, the convenience of custodial, the responsibility of non-custodial, is the ultimate recommendation, usually a mix, a hybrid approach.
For most active users today, yes, hybrid is often the smartest strategy.
How does that look?
Use custodial platforms for what they're good at. Quick trading, easy access to liquidity, maybe earning yield on smaller amounts you're actively managing.
The hot money, the trading stack.
Exactly. But for your significant long-term holdings, the crypto you plan to HODL, as they say,
That goes into cold storage.
that's where non-custodial, particularly a hardware wallet, makes the most sense. It optimizes for maximum security for the assets you really don't want to lose access to. You get the best of both worlds. Convenience for activity, ironclad security for preservation.
Okay, so it's not necessarily an either choice for your entire portfolio. You can strategically use both.
You absolutely can and probably should, depending on your goals and amount.
Right. So to wrap up, we've explored these 2 fundamental paths. Custodial. You trust an institution for convenience and support, but give up ultimate control and some privacy. Non-custodial. You take full responsibility for ultimate control, sovereignty, and security, but face a steeper learning curve and the unforgiving risk of losing access forever if you mess up.
Both valid choices, depending on your personal risk tolerance, technical confidence, and what you're trying to achieve with crypto.
Yeah.
But now, hopefully, you understand exactly what the trade-offs are.
Definitely clear.
Which leads me to a final thought, sort of looking ahead. We talked about MPC technology, multi-party computation.
Yeah, the key splitting tech.
Right. Now, imagine a future where this becomes mainstream. Imagine regulated banks or financial platforms offering MPC-based wallets where you securely hold some key shares, the platform holds others, maybe an independent third party holds another.
So still user involvement, but with institutional security layers and maybe recovery options.
Potentially. The question is, if that model becomes widespread and reliable, adopted by regulated players, could that finally bridge the gap? Could it give you the security and sovereignty feel of non-custodial, but with the convenience and maybe fallback options closer to custodial?
Could MPC effectively eliminate the dilemma we just spent this whole deep dive discussing?
Could it become the new default standard for secure, compliant, yet user-empowered crypto ownership? It's probably one of the biggest questions shaping the next decade of digital assets. Something to watch very closely.